On this episode, we're talking about beginning your real estate empire. Hey everybody, Justin Spaulding. Thank you so much for tuning into the 6th episode of Ballin with Spauldin. I definitely am very appreciative for you to take your time. I know your time is super valuable, so I appreciate you guys checking this out, checking the channel out, check out our previous videos, leave comments, leave questions, share this video with other people who you know that are striving to be millionaires or financially free. And let's build this huge wealth building community. Today, what we're going to talk about is, it seems like I've been getting a lot of real estate questions. Today, what we're going to talk about is 3 steps for the beginners in real estate. And as I look at my journey, this is kind of really what I did, and I really am always doing this constantly, but this is what I really focused on doing when I was brand new to this game in 2009, and when I became obsessed with real estate and wanting to buy real estate. And the first thing that I would do is, kind of prospect properties and envision in my head what I wanted to go out and get. Well, let me tell you this. Part of prospecting properties is building a network and networking with other people, letting people that you're already close with, whether it's family and friends, people who aren't going to tear down your dreams, okay? Don't tell those people, but people in your life who support you. Let them know that you're interested in real estate. Let them know that you're looking and want to learn more. And they could lead you to other people who are professionals in the industry to help you and guide you along the way. But the more people know, the more people that know you are looking for real estate, word will spread. And it won't spread overnight, but the more consistent you are and the more passion and excitement you show towards real estate, the more buzz is going to be around you. The more people are going to walk into your life or get introduced to you who might have some property that they're looking to sell, or might be able to connect you to someone that's looking to sell. So always let other people know, build that network, build relationships with people. Location, and for this one, I'm not necessarily a believer in location, and that's all there is to real estate. I believe that for the right price and the right deal, you can make money no matter where the property's physical location is. But for this, I'm talking about, where do you want to look? Where do you see yourself first investing in real estate? Is it around the corner from you? Is it on your block? Is it within the same town, the neighboring towns within 30 miles? Is it across the entire United States? That's a decision that you have to make. So kind of have a location in mind so that when you're prospecting properties, you're you know where to look. But to be honest, when we're this broad and this new, you can almost even forget about that. And just start looking at any properties. Start prospecting all properties across the United States. Property type. What property do you see yourself going after to start? Is it a single family? Is it a duplex? Is it a 4-unit, a 8-unit, a 16-unit, 32, 64, 128, 500? What is it? You determine that. No one else, you. Don't let anyone tell you, if you're looking for a 4-unit or an 8-unit, that, you should start with a single family, Johnny, because, you only have one tenant to deal with. Man, having tenants is a good problem to have, because that means someone's paying rent. And the way I look at it is, I would rather have 4 units so that if one goes empty, I still have 3 people paying me to go towards all the expenses. If I have a single family and one tenant leaves, I have nothing left. I have no one renting that thing. That's just my perspective. Once again, I know a lot of people making income off single families and duplexes, but when I started doing the numbers and I realized that single family homes and duplexes were almost, in some cases, the same price as a 4-unit, I just looked at the absolute best thing that could happen, the worst thing, but what was most likely to happen, and it just made sense to go after the 4-unit. Even though we covered this, so this is labeled number 1, I think the most important for a true beginner are these 2 right here, for sure. And what I do, and what I used to do while I was learning this thing, is I would just run numbers on properties all the time, whether they were listed on the internet for sale and I could get the income and expenses and stuff like that. I would just start running the numbers so that I would really have a really good understanding of it, so I would get to see the numbers written down to see what maybe I could do better, or to realize when I come across a great investment. Because if you're just going to run numbers on properties that look appealing to you, that's never going to give you enough experience working with and going through the numbers when you're just getting started. So hop online. LoopNet is a great one, and in there you can usually get a hold of a listing broker or the owner, whoever's got it listed, and get the numbers, get the incomes, get the expenses, and figure out, what it would take for you to finance it, and run the numbers. So here's a real true story that, I never am looking to purchase a property that on day one I'm losing money, that I'm having to take money out of my pocket to put towards the property. I want that property to be cash flowing and paying me day one, even if it's just $100. I want it to be paying me no matter what, starting on day one. I don't want to look into the future and just be guessing and taking a risk or betting, assuming that I'm gonna be able to turn a property around. So running the numbers, I have Excel spreadsheets, I have things, as far as, amortization and loans and stuff like that. I have all these Excel templates, and in upcoming shows, we're gonna go through this so you guys start to know what to look for. And the reason I'm not doing it in this show is because that can be 100 hours of content right there. And so we're gonna kind of break it out amongst a couple different shows. Number 3, this is super important as well because you want to be able to get a feel and you want to just start looking at as many properties as possible. I looked at dozens and dozens and dozens of properties before I bought my first one. And this is physically, getting the agent, getting the owner, and physically getting into one or two of the apartments at the complex or getting to go see the single family house. Just because it's going to give you a feel. It's going to allow you to imagine yourself owning a property. It's going to allow you to manage, to imagine renting it to a tenant and finding tenants. And I think that's super important to be able to get the feel of a property. And eventually you get to the point when you start running numbers, when you start looking at properties, you're going to be able to just look at these numbers. And when a owner or a current broker of a property that's for sale, you're going to be able to look at those numbers. You're going to be able to know if it's something that you want to do or not. But then it's the same thing when you roll up on a property and you're starting to look at it, you're going to know right away if it's a deal that you want to get into or not, because it's just going to you're going to feel it in your chest, and your heart will start to, your gut, your heart and your gut are just going to kind of tell you. And so these are super important. Get out and just look at properties. Whether they're single family, duplexes, 32 units, whatever. Just get out and look at properties. This is how you're going to, just by looking at properties, you're going to meet a lot of brokers, owners. There's your networking right there, right? So I think these 3 things are a great place to start. Future shows coming up, we're going to, go through some of the actual numbers of real estate, what to look for, what, you can really improve on a lot of times to help your profit margin. But that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the 6th episode of Ballin with Spauldin. I hope you guys who are interested in real estate just start doing this, start getting a feel for it, because you got to start somewhere. This is super practical right here. So thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe to this channel. Let's build a wealth building community. I want to see a lot of comments and the questions. 2 years from now when we're doing this thing, I want 200 comments to be left. I want conversations to be created. I want you guys asking questions. I want this to be interactive. I want to even learn something from you guys. I'm always looking to learn. So that being said, guys, thank you so much for your time and your attention. I know it's valuable. We'll see you on episode 7.